Hi guys.
Hello.
This is a review of Consent, which went out on Tuesday night, 10 p.m, Channel 4. You can catch it on all four, but we are going to say right now, trigger warning. Trigger warning, because it's incredibly tough drama. How would you describe what it's about? And
also to say this is a spoiler, because we can't review this without you having a spoiler.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was traumatised by this. Actually, this episode.
But it's a one-off.
It's a one-off. We were unsure the way through.
Shall I explain what it's about?
Yeah.
So it's set in a private school. It follows principally the story of a boy who is under pressure from another group of boys to man up, step up to the plate in their WhatsApp group, which is called Sluts and Stuff, to effectively prove he's had some sexual encounter or conquest or experience with a girl in the school to kind of validate him in the group and make him belong.
But the girl that he really, really likes. So it's not just any girl. They've picked up that he really, really likes this one girl. And she is, she's there on a scholarship. She's extraordinarily bright. She's a star of the year. You can see that right at the beginning of the programme. So you see misogyny very early on. They're like...
And classism.
The rage and racism, because she's black. And you see that right at the beginning of the episode, and you think, oh, Jesus God, where are we going to go here?
Absolutely.
There's so much hate to this girl.
Yeah, and quite early on, you're given the device of them using, the WhatsApp group. So you've got lots of text coming on, incredibly rude, incrededly...
it's a WhatsApp group called Sluts and Stuff.
Yeah, insensitive, disgusting, traumatic, horrible stuff.
Which our girls have said, oh, that's just the norm. Oh, we've got loads and loads of boys are like this. We're shocked, they're not shocked at all. It's just like, oh, this is how it is.
Absolutely. And I thought what was particularly clever about this is that the young boy who plays the lead actor, Tom Victor, who plays Archie, excellent. Understated, really interior performance by him. And what I thought was clever about the film or the drama was that you feel he's a nice boy, and you feel that he's uncomfortable with this group and this pressure.
But he's very much in the group.
Yeah.
So he conforms. He's in the rugby team. He kind of half jokes along with them. And my God, if this is a story about anything, this is a story about who your children hang out with can have a huge effect and literally turn them onto a different path. And I love the ambiguity throughout, right up until the last second. I didn't really know whether he was good or whether he was bad.
Or they had done what they said he'd done.
Yeah. So it was, but I think there's so many brilliant things about this story. But you know what broke my heart the most was the romance that was burgeoning between these two. That the toxic group somehow picked up on something and didn't like it. Is this going to break up the group? Because there's already another boy that's fallen for a girl and is moving away from the group.
That's a really interesting
point. And the way
point.
they get their talons into him, not another one's going.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I mean, at the helm, or the sort of the spearheader, or the kind of front runner in this horrendous WhatsApp group is interestingly played by David Tennant's son. And he's very good. He was also in House of the Dragon. Yeah, interesting. I hadn't thought about it like that. The fact that this was a sort of sabotage, in a sense, wasn't it, by the group? Of a romance that was there, and right down to the party scene prior to what actually happens, or you discover has happened at the end of the party. You feel that there is a genuine, innocent sort of attraction between the two of them.
Oh, very much. And I thought the two actors, the younger actress as well,
Lachey Anderson.
Lachey, you're just amazing, sweetheart. You just hit every single note that we needed to see. And they played it so beautifully, to the point where I felt quite emotional. When they were on the sofa, I was like, oh, do you remember that when you were at school? And she's looking at him, and she's just willing him to kiss her. Because at this point, they've just had a couple of drinks. They know they've liked each other. They've been flirting. They're of intellectual equals. He admires her brilliant brain. He's very clever as well. And you're just like, oh, maybe they're going to get a chance. Meanwhile, he's getting like WhatsApp. He's getting videos of interracial porn sent to him by this group. And like you say, every time he goes onto the WhatsApp group, the way that they're all there in person is just so powerful.
I thought that was really clever, because I thought what that reminded you of is that for youngsters, we just think as grown-ups, we think, well, it's a text, it's a group, just come out of the group, go leave the group. And interestingly, there's a point where one member of the group does leave the group. I thought that character was quite interesting, and he becomes quite instrumental towards the end of the drama in terms of revealing what's actually happened. But I thought what was clever about having them in the space was creating that claustrophobia and urgency to doing something,
and
for
there
doing
never
something.
being peace.
Yeah.
So he'd be at his house and he'd be thinking about it. He'll have just spoken to him. It would have been sweet and innocent. And then the texts come in and it's, interracial sex, and it's like all of this sort of stuff. And it's just...
Have you done it? Unless you've got proof, you can't.
You
You've
haven't
got to have
done
proof
it
yet.
unless you've got proof.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
And I also thought what was interesting about the film as well was you were shown, like you said earlier on Coffee Moaning, if I had a quibble with it, I found the private school setting, whilst I understand why they set it there, and I kind of understood it, and I think it was twisting on a different sort of kind of topic of even the privileged, encounter sort of negative experiences and are driven by terrible toxic masculinity. Though for me, that's not a surprise. I sometimes think it's probably worse in these schools than it is in state schools, though it isn't. It's across the board. And I do worry that an aspect of this allows people to hold it a little bit at arm's length.
I completely and utterly disagree with you.
Right, why?
Just when I think about sometimes when the young people that we know and we talk to, whether that's friends, cousins, adults, whoever, and I've sort of thought, and I've been hearing the kind of stuff they're getting, and I'm thinking, oh God, should we have sent our girls? And I'll sometimes say, should we send them to private school? And they all go, oh my God, why does everybody think it's safe in private school? The private school. So I think a lot of people think like that. If I send my kid to private school, they're going to be safer.
Right.
And I think we tend to hold up these private schools as the places where our children go and they mix with the good people. And a lot of people I know that send their kids to private school at great cost to them, not wealthy people that have taken 2 jobs and stuff, they say, because it's about the people that they're around. And that isn't necessarily the case. As Mark said, this is across the board. This is a real problem for boys, and my heart broke for the boys in this drama
victims,
that are pushed in. All of them are victims. All the boys are victims. All these young people are victims because pornography has fucked up our kids' heads. Whether we turn away from that or not, and this drama shows us that so brilliant.
Another aspect of it that I thought was really good, a little shout out to Rhea Norwood, who plays Archie, the main boy's sister. It's the collateral damage that happens amongst other women around, because the accusations come in. He's formally kind of essentially accused within the school system of sexual assault and rape.
And I loved that.
Yeah.
I loved that the girl told the school straight away, because we always see dramas where they don't tell because they are scared, and she does. I didn't fucking help her one bit.
And then it reminded me of the institutional kind of closed shopness and the closing of ranks, because then you have the parent of Archie, or the father specifically, insisting that he's going to sue the school if anything happens to his child. And I thought that was a really important thing there, because parental privilege, parental pressure will nudge institutions to sweep it under the carpet, try and avoid it, because of course then it becomes a PR nightmare for the school if this kind of thing is on their watch.
Well, I've had people say that to me. Teachers that worked in private schools says there's all kinds of things that go on private schools they wouldn't be allowed to, because it's a business. But I think that, I think the only thing, though as a piece of drama it's absolutely brilliant and true to life, it broke my heart for any girl that might watch this and go, because at the end it says, what the percentage is when they have young girls that would never report anything because it's become so normalised, this behaviour. And I'm afraid we saw here that nothing was till right to the end. No, that's not true, because right to the end she calls the police. Didn't she? Because she's got the video evidence.
Well,
At
the end it pivots around, and in a sense, it's not a happy ending. It's a sort of
not a happy.
No. But it's potentially a solution. But then, of course, you report a rape, and then you're into the terrible nightmare of how many rapes are actually prosecuted.
But when you've got video evidence, because what they say all the way through, if you ain't got the pictures, it didn't happen. And guess what? This time, the pictures are good, because you can't deny that. That's
well,
right.
and also the interesting development in the plot is that she's sent the video by one of the boys who apologises, and that must be so tough for her to watch. That moment is just, I found it unbearable to watch. It was so difficult, and it's unflinching in how it shows it. So again, a warning there. I just wanted to quickly just mention, what did you make of the female teacher who was forever in the shadows of the headmaster? What do you think they were trying to say with her character? That again, institutionally, she had to remain quiet.
And she did everything right, and she broke my heart. Her character broke my heart.
Yeah, interesting.
But yesterday we had a group of people staying with us, and the young people that were watching with us said, "This happens all the time." Because what? well, so a girl be having sex and then suddenly a camera's whipped out and they had photographs taken of them. Like whilst in the act, because the other boys have said, where's the proof? I mean, can you believe this? So that's why it's so important. We talk to our kids all the time because you don't want somebody else advising them, do you?
Absolutely. So
excellent piece of drama.
Yeah, and on another personal basis, Lachey Anderson, Tom Victor, Rhea Norwood, and Nell Barlow, but also Ty Tennant, becoming someone to watch as well.
He's so repulsive.
Sinister and horrible. Ugh.
He's so repulsive, and he was so brilliant in what was it? The show you just
House of
mentioned?
the Dragon.
Oh my God, he's played 2 repulsive parts in a row. I want to see him do something else well because he's a damn fine actor. I hope he doesn't get stuck being really nasty fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, tell us what you think if you find that you can get through how tough this is.